And welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nothing. My name is Chuck Bailey, and you join us once again on our pre-season preview podcasts. And this week we are talking Liverpool, the Reds, the Merseyside Reds, as they're known in the Pro Evo world. Joining me today, Liverpool fan, Patreon extraordinaire. Welcome, Mr. Sam Danby. How are you, sir?
Hello, Chuck. I'm all right. Yourself?
I'm doing very well, mate. Very, very well. Excited to be here. Excited to talking to you. How is life over in Scandinavia, where you are?
It's cooler than it is over there.
Yeah.
It's still quite warm. It's a little bit warmer than normal.
Just generally happier with life, everything like that. You know, all those indexes. Yeah. Yeah. Bastards.
If I wasn't happy, then I'd be skewing numbers. So I'm ecstatic.
Good stuff. So we're here today to talk about Liverpool. So what's your connection with Liverpool? How did you come to be a Liverpool fan?
Can you not tell by my accent? No. My it's a bit of an estranged relationship. When I was younger, I didn't really have a family who had a favourite team. My granddad was the one that kind of took me to the park and kind of forced me to play football. But he didn't really have a team or anything. But I actually grew up as a United fan. Big fan of United. There's pictures of me in my youth wearing full kits and gloves and scarves at Old Trafford. But
right, just going to hit stop on this. Right, that's all the time we've got today.
Put that out there. No. So obviously I've changed. Not in an American way. It wasn't because of glory. It was before I was 10, around 9 or 8. So when United were really good. At the time, Solskjaer was one of my favourite players.
Okay, yep.
And I used to go to watch games. Mostly local games, so Forest and Mansfield, who I was a fan of. And then my brother started liking football and decided he was a Manchester United fan. So I changed. Literally
just a signalling rivalry sparked you on your journey to supporting Liverpool.
Yeah, and now I've got 2 kids myself. I know exactly how much they just love just copying each other and having something because the other one has, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, not going to happen on my watch. So I quickly became a Liverpool fan. When we weren't really very successful, and then haven't looked back since, really. Not even a sniff of looking back. So definitely been a Liverpool fan for almost over 25 years.
Nice. So like you said, through all the proper times, and how have you found it recently? How has recent times been as a Liverpool fan compared to kind of the Roy Hodgson era? It keeps coming up, the Roy Hodgson era, for so many teams. It's just pain. But the kind of doldrums years of going, 30 odd years without a league title and kind of getting a few trophies here and there. Obviously Champions League in 2004, 2005?
2005, yeah.
Yeah. So how have you been enjoying kind of the Klopp revolution, as it were?
It's obviously, like you say, different. I listened to the Fulham episode today and talking about Roy Hodgson. I thought, wait till later. But yeah, that was drab, wasn't it? And you think of the players that we had then and the players that we have now. Mm-hmm. We were attracting completely different kind of breed of player, and also not just bringing in players that are already quite established. We're very good at bringing in players, and they become more established. I mean, look at Salah, obviously, what he's achieved compared to what it was before. And you look at kind of the days of before, like you said, the days with Hodgson and even Dalglish, it was always exciting getting these new managers in. And it's kind of like, this is it, it's going to be fun, it's nostalgic with Dalglish. And then Brendan Rodgers, of course, did a good job.
Yeah.
But, Klopp's just another level.
Yeah, mate. He's quality. As much as I joke about him, and he's very, very spiky. Like, you can't deny as someone just going and watching those games and trying to watch them with neutral eyes. Like, hell of a fun team. Kind of coming up to last season, how are you feeling about that? Because obviously, it's another so near 1 point off, still scoring 95 goals, Champions League final. 2 domestic cups. Like, describe your feelings about last season, if you can.
It was amazing, right? I mean, the thing is that you can easily kind of relate to, anybody can relate to it in terms of what was it like when England got to the final, right?
Right.
You kind of like just hold next game, you're excited, and the next game it's still going, and you get to right to the end. It's kind of like we had, we're pretty much in the final for the Premier League, final for the Champions League.
Yep.
Won the FA Cup. We're so close to achieving so much, but if you really look at it, a major honour, we didn't really get one. So it was obviously a little bit disappointing. But
disrespect the Carabao. You took that off Man City. They'd won it like 4 or 5 years in a row. Yeah,
it's almost like a Champions League curse.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It was a really cool season. And kind of, I remember a few months before the end of the season, it was kind of like too many points to catch up now. It's not going to happen. And you still, regardless of kind of that gap that everybody with prediction models and statistics and rivalry fans, you still, without a shadow of a doubt, thought, no, it's going to happen. We're going to get all the way, if not win it. So it was a lot of fun, but obviously disappointing at the end with not getting the league or the Champions League.
Yeah, happening so late. I mean, you didn't lose a game in the league in 2022. Like, your last loss was a 1-0 on December the 28th, and then before that was November the 7th. So you went from November all the way through to the end of the year, losing 2 games, and it still wasn't enough. I mean, fair play, and it definitely, kept it exciting right till the very last on the last day. Obviously, there's been a few changes. I guess we can move on to transfers a bit now as we kind of transition into, as we stand in next season. Sadio Mane leaving is kind of a big headline. There was obviously a bit of drama with both him and Salah potentially going. Obviously, Mane moved off to Bayern for about 30 million and Salah signed another 3 years. So how are you feeling kind of at that deal? Would you have preferred both to go, both to stay? What, the other way round? What about that for you?
Obviously both to stay, but I think that would then kind of decrease the chances of anybody else in the team who potentially could have achieved just as much, or a couple of players being able to develop the way that we know Klopp can with players. So obviously both staying would have been ideal. The fact that both of them were kind of talked about and there was a risk of both of them leaving, obviously that's the worst case. But obviously Mane, I prefer Mane to go than Salah. He not only, Mane's Mane, what a player, what a person, what a human being, but Salah is something that every club needs, not only for winning results, but also kind of making Liverpool a club rather than a good football team. So kind of attraction of fans, people coming to watch, it's kind of...
It's a huge draw. Like, it's... And I guess it's the way their careers have gone, right? I mean, Mane came over from France, I think, to Southampton, and then went to Liverpool. So he's kind of gradually escalated. But Salah obviously was at Chelsea, went out on loan a couple of times, then hardly played at all, then went to Roma, and then so kind of Liverpool was then the escalation. So I guess maybe he's already kind of scratched that itch of jumping around to different places.
Yeah, I think he had something to prove, right, in the Premier League.
Definitely,
But I think Mane was a bit of a Neymar to Messi type, but not in such a dramatic or a statue of a way. He was a little bit in Salah's shadow in terms of media, kind of outspoken, in terms of kind of being a front person for the face. And, we can all say that money is not really a biggest factor because Mane, if anyone, doesn't really seem the type, but it's about that appreciation, and of course he left kind of amicable. There's a lot of good. Klopp has also come out very quickly and said, how much of a pleasure it was having Mane in the team, how important it's been, and I think he's a player that's hard to not like. Even if you are a Liverpool fan or not.
Yeah, I think so. I've always really liked Sadio Mane, and you've kind of you alluded to earlier of him potentially getting in the way of others. You brought in Luis Diaz in January last year, and he kind of hit the ground running really well. So you've kind of got a ready-made replacement. Other signings, obviously now Fabio Carvalho from Fulham, but there's probably one for a bit more in the future, but I'm sure Klopp will use him. And Darwin Nunes as well, who's getting mixed reviews in his pre-season, shall we say. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching and can give us an indication of how he plays.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add to the Salah Mane thing as well. I mean, from a Liverpool perspective as a fan, seeing that they never passed to each other as well, that used to grind me something and rotten. Yeah, they used to just almost refuse to pass to each other. But that's
why you needed Firmino. Firmino was the footballing sorbet, that the ball could go to them neutrally, then pass to Mane or Mane to Salah. He was the middle ground there.
It was a little bit frustrating to watch, but we've achieved a lot with it happening like that. So and it seemed to go a little bit sour, but I don't know the ins and outs of it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So Darwin Nunes. Of course, all it takes is one miss, and there's memes and videos of you on the internet. It didn't take very long either, so that's a shame. But obviously, I think it was really good that when the first game, he had a couple of chances, and obviously not played that level of football myself, but obviously played a level of football where you have taken a next step and you played a little bit higher and you're not used to it. He looked like a really good footballer who was just nervous.
Right. Okay.
And kind of the misses, he was spread all over the internet afterwards. But even the goals he scored 4 goals the other day after coming on. And in my opinion,
4 goals against Leipzig.
Yeah, exactly. One of our obviously the brand is we've been taking players from Red Bull teams for a while, but the goals he scored looked like goals that were scored by a very good football player that was nervous.
Right. Okay.
They weren't the cleanest of finishers. I said maybe he would have only scored 2 with a bit better goalkeeping, but like the penalty was a little bit, could have been saved. A couple of the other goals were kind of close to the keeper and not great goalkeeping. But he looked like, he's in the right place. He's making the right movement. We know he can finish. He scored, plenty of goals last season. Really good goals. And if kind of looking just at last season, he scored, I think, 34 goals-ish last season in all competitions.
Yeah, it was 32 in 48. 32 in 38, sorry, with a couple of assists in there. And he comes very highly rated. I listened to a few different continental football podcasts, and Andy Brassel, who is kind of big in the Portuguese league, has kind of said that he sees Darwin Nunes as being like the perfect player to fit into the Premier League style and Klopp style as well. Because he's very physical, he's very aggressive, very strong, gets about a lot. I mean, in his finishing, just in the Champions League games, he scored 6 in 10. So he's shown that he can do it at a decent level. Like I'm excited for him, and then kind of the next evolution of Liverpool, because I think that they're really building on the fly, refreshing. But dropping players like Minamino, who was probably already usurped. Move him on. Nico Williams. He's probably not going to get a lot of time when your main right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold. And so I think it's exciting times for Liverpool. And so with that in mind, how do you kind of foresee this season going? I mean, it's fair to say you're going to be in a top 2, right?
It'd be disappointing if not. I mean, we haven't really strengthened our squad in terms of depth.
Okay,
we've got rid of a lot of players. Many that weren't really playing, kind of on the fringes.
Yeah, shout out Divock.
Divock Origi.
Divock Origi. What a guy.
If you look, he was gone. I mean, he was really important in many games for us, right?
Yeah, it's true.
But players that have left, I did have. I wrote a couple down, kind of notable players. Mane, of course, Williams. You mentioned Minamino. We've got quite a bit of money for those. Ben Davies never made an appearance. Divock's gone. Karius is gone, which you don't know him. Ben Woodburn is gone.
Yep.
Never really became a permanent fixture. Strange enough, Ben Woodburn, actually. I saw a kid in the street with a Woodburn shirt on. Never seen one in my life. Asked him about it. Signed. I said, Woodburn signed it. He said, no. Johan Arisa signed it. So Johan Arisa signed it. Ben Woodburn. Yeah.
That's like that video that's going around at a minute of the American with the Pulisic jerseys, and he's got and Jorginho just doesn't give a fuck and comes over and signs both of them.
Yeah. It's Johan Arisa signed it. I remember tweeting Johan Arisa saying, "Here's a photo of a Ben Woodburn jersey. Johan Arisa signed," and he liked it. So yeah. Yeah, I think we've replaced few of the players in terms of numbers, but we've replaced them with, Nunes, Caballo, who people are touting to be kind of like he doesn't get much of attention since signing for us because of the Nunes stuff, but he's going to be a really good player for us. And I think he'll get quite a lot of minutes. Kind of a replacement for like a Origi / Minamino style position-wise. But I'm confident, I think we probably, Klopp's, I read that he said he's not desperate to add new players unless we get some injuries and things like that.
Yeah, because I haven't really seen you linked with anyone at the moment. Like, it's been really quiet actually on the Liverpool front. There's obviously big news with City making moves and Chelsea buying every centre-back and that kind of stuff. Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham have. But Liverpool, I mean, you as well, like, kings of net spend, like you've only actually spent effectively 5 million at the minute with the players you've replaced.
We are kings of net spend. It's looking like we, are not as tipped or in the news so much to sign new players, which is
right. Yeah,
what I think is great. The rumours, kind of prominent ones, were Bellingham, of course. We talked a little bit about, kind of went quiet, and then recently has come to the front a little bit more, saying, Liverpool will sign him this summer, but it doesn't seem like it, to be honest.
Not if it's... I can't see them spending 100 million on him, which is what they're saying, the release clause or whatever it is from Dortmund.
We'll see. You never say never, right? I mean, there's players, kind of tipped to... A lot of Liverpool fans really want him to leave. But our midfield's not where we sell tickets. It's where we win games a little bit, right?
Yeah, okay.
Kind of the players we've got in there are not really the ones that are going to score all the goals, to be honest. It's very rare. But, we've been tipped with Asensio, Bellingham, of course. I read quite a lot about Saka as well, but he looks like he's signing a new contract for Arsenal, and it didn't really seem like it would happen anyway.
No, I wouldn't have seen that.
The other guy from Sporting... Another Nunes. Is it pronounced Nunes as well, I think?
Mateus or something.
Yeah. He's been...
More
also,
Nunes.
Yeah. 2 in 1. Barella, but he's also been linked with a couple of teams, as always. Kunku, Leipzig, of course, we just played against them.
Yep.
But I think he's signed a new deal recently. Possibly. I think he signed a new deal.
And Kunku, I believe so. Last year, I think he signed an extension or something. But you're dancing around it anyway. Give me a number. Are you finishing first or second?
I'm not saying first in a way that a United or a Tottenham fan will say first. I'm saying first because I really do think we'll finish first.
Okay.
Of course.
Yes.
It'd
Champions
be rude
League?
for me not to say first. I think we should promise we will win at least one of them.
Right.
I think Klopp should, based upon where the season goes, because you don't, maybe you do, but you don't really start the season and say, look, we're going to go for the cup and not for the league. You go for both. But I think what we did last year was not really give up on anything.
Yeah.
Which is
agreed.
fine. What a season, right? But I think it would be good to win either the league or the Champions League. And I think, honestly, it would be nice to win the league again, because obviously when we won the league, it was during Corona, and it was kind of didn't really get to celebrate, didn't really get to out and watch games. You couldn't attend really.
Well, you won, and then fans didn't come in until the second to last or last game of the following season. So there was nothing.
It was the last 2 games, right? Because then they wanted to give everyone a chance to have a home game.
Yes, that was it.
But it was kind of like a dead win in the season. You could even go out to the pub and watch it. Well, we could here, but generally it wasn't really it was kind of glossed over, right? And then we joked around during the season of kind of, the title with the asterisk, so it would be nice to win the league. Personally, I'd say go for the league.
I filled out my predictor league, and I've got Liverpool first. So
yeah,
There you go.
I think I did.
I think you can.
I did, definitely.
All right then. So, how about a little bit of FPL? I asked this question of everyone: with are you likely to put players from the team you support in Liverpool? Surely you always play with Liverpool players, right?
Thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I generally last couple of seasons triple captain Salah first week.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Are you doing it again this year? Fulham?
I'm not. Not after the Fulham pod this morning. I'm not brave enough after that. But no, we'll see. Captain's on Salah at the minute, but it might go to. It could change to Horland maybe, but we'll see. Salah, Trent as a guaranteed fixed in my team, and I think I've got Diaz as well at the minute. So starting with 3.
Okay,
but it might be that I change to Nunes and change Diaz out for somebody a bit cheaper, maybe like Coutinho or something.
Okay, so you're going with 3 basically.
I'm definitely going with 3. Yeah, who's not?
I have. I've got Trent. I've got Salah. I've got Luis Diaz. I did have Darwin Nunes, and he was my main striker, but I also needed some sort of Tottenham, and I didn't want to bank on Horland early because of injuries and. Well, you're probably the best person to ask about this, right? You obviously have a footballing pedigree and footballing knowledge, and you're in Scandinavia. How do you think Erling Horland is going to take to the Premier League, to City? How do you foresee his transition? I know this isn't Liverpool, but you're the best person to ask.
I have tweeted about him, tipped him, tried to get bets on him from Sky Bet365 since he was 15. Right, so I 100% back him just as much as I back my Liverpool first shout. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is something else. He was injured a couple of times last year, but he's 20. He just turned 22 this week. I mean, who at that age isn't still? I mean, surprisingly, still growing. But he's a monster. So now I think going to someone like to City with Pep.
He was touted that he was going there.
Yeah,
but
I would have loved him to come to Liverpool. So now it's so strange because I have to. I mean, we all tip some players to score against our own team if it's FPL based. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely going to be like, okay, if Liverpool need to concede, I don't mind Erling scoring goal. Really, I don't mind at all.
Fair enough. So what do you think in terms of goals this season, appearances? Do you think because they've been saying his minutes are really going to be managed? He's not going to have anywhere near as much pressure because, you look at City. City are just a team of stars. So even though he undoubtedly improves that team, it's not like required to him to run every minute, right?
I'd say it's difficult for me to guess on how many minutes he's going to play. Mm-hmm. But I'd be very confident to say expect at least a goal every 90 minutes, if not 80.
Right.
But we'll see. It depends on how much he plays, right? If he only plays half the games, then still expect him to score 18 or 19 goals, if not 20.
And tying this all back up in a lovely Liverpool knot, who scores more, Horland or Salah?
I think on a per minute basis, Horland. I think over the season, Salah.
Salah Golden Boot. There it is. Big Liverpool shouts. Yeah! Let's have it. I mean, I'm excited for this season for loads of reasons. Liverpool and City improving in the ways they have. I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to how the new Liverpool front 3 clicks, what's going to happen there. And I'm really excited I got to talk to you about it today, mate. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. I see... got a little bit of Horland talking there, so you can promote it as that to get some reviews.
Get some extra Norwegian listens, get it out in Scandinavia. Thank you to all of you for listening. Thank you to Sam for making this possible and all the other Patreons. Still got plenty more preview podcasts to come. I've got Arsenal, Everton, Leeds, West Ham, Southampton. So make sure you join us on all the bonus pods. Join us on Twitter at Miles Offside Pod. We got the FPL League. We've got the Slack. You still get it free for a little while. Thank you very much. And big thank you to Whoa, Black Betty, Sam Balam, Whoa, Sam Debbie, Bam Balam, Sam Debbie got a child, Bam Balam, Sam Debbie gone wild. Yeah! Liverpool Pod out.